One of the most anticipated Pokemon presentations of recent past is dropping in less than 24 hours. Are you ready? Let's break it down. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drive, bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we are breaking down everything you guys can expect and need to know about the Pokemon presentation going down on the 18th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We've also got some pretty interesting rumors and subdomains that have been registered that may lead us in the direction of what could be revealed tomorrow, so make sure you guys stay tuned for the entire video. If you guys enjoy this and you're excited for the announcement tomorrow, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as I post Pokemon videos every single day. I will be live streaming the announcement at 8 a.m. Eastern Time on my live stream at twitch.tv/adrive. We have the hypest pregame parties and everything else, so you don't want to miss it. You can watch it live with the A-Drive Army, where thousands will be tuning in. So again, tune in at twitch.tv/adrive. I'll be there an hour before the announcement. I'll be rocking with it, but again, I'll have the coverage on YouTube afterwards. We've got a lot to unpack in this video, so let's not waste any time. Let's just jump into things. So the first thing I want to mention is the official Pokemon news announcement says that they're going to be covering Pokemon Legends Arceus, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and more, which means that this 28-minute announcement is going to unpack a lot of things for the Pokemon franchise. I think that we're going to get some information about Pokemon Unite, as a new character is actually dropping tomorrow as well, Blissey, in addition to a balance patch, which I'll probably cover on the channel in the next couple days. So a lot of information regarding Pokemon Unite. There could be something regarding Pokemon Go, Cafe Mix, and some of the other Pokemon spin-off games. There's also the possibility that we may see something for Sword and Shield, which I know would be a bit of a curveball, but we actually look back to a rumor that was posted many months ago, actually going back over a year ago. They talked about what was the future of Pokemon. Now I'm gonna disclaimer, this is a rumor, but they said 2022 or 2020 was gonna have Sword and Shield DLCs. This is prior to the announcement there. 1 and 2 DLCs. Then Diamond and Pearl remakes were gonna drop in 2021. Simple remakes. These are not gonna replace Sword and Shield. Then they talked about Sword and Shield DLC 3, releasing the rest of the missing Pokemon and new mythical Pokemon. And then last but not least, 2022 Project Kingen. So if this were to come true, you would basically line up Legends Arceus with Project Kingen. We got the Diamond and Pearl remakes already confirmed. Just waiting on that Sword and Shield DLC. I would say don't get your hopes too high on that, but it is a possibility that they keep Sword and Shield kind of flowing. And if they were to release it sooner than later, like September, it actually would make some sense in the context of where Sword and Shield is at, simply because it's going to be hard to believe that they're going to move the competitive format over to Diamond and Pearl, simply because Diamond and Pearl doesn't look like it's going to be like a full competitive game. It's not going to have all the Pokemon in it, etc. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And obviously Legends Arceus is not going to be an online capable game, so that's not going to be the competitive format, and they're not just going to let competitive die. So again, I'm not saying that we're definitely getting another Sword and Shield DLC. It would definitely be surprising to me, but I wouldn't be totally out. It wouldn't be out of the question, again, considering the fact that I think they're going to try to keep those games alive from a competitive perspective. The next thing I want to mention is Kelios. Kelios is a French kind of leaker slash insider who is generally pretty reputable in the community, and they mentioned that a lot of people have kind of focused on this buzzword of Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl being faithful remakes, and they go on to state that faithful does not mean that they're not gonna have anything new. There's gonna be a similar story and people are gonna recognize the region, but that doesn't mean that there won't be anything new. And there's been a lot of talks and rumors about Mega Evolutions. Are we gonna get new Megas in the Diamond and Pearl remakes? What are they changing? What's gonna be different? How many old features are gonna be there? Still a lot of questions to be answered. I think we're gonna get a lot of those answers tomorrow. And I think if there is going to be a Mega Evolution reveal, I think that will be tomorrow. Again, don't get your hopes too high. We initially thought that there was definitely gonna be Megas based on the merchandise leaks that came out earlier this year. But again, at this point, it's still up in the air, so we'll just have to wait and see about that. But exciting times, because I really am hopeful that we see new Megas. I would love to see Mega Torterra, Mega Empoleon, and Mega Infernape. I think you guys would too. One of the things that kind of got glossed over, I think, when we switch gears to Legends Arceus is kind of some of the flavor text they have on their website. You can explore natural expanses to catch Pokemon by learning their behavior, sneaking up, and throwing a well-aimed Pokeball. So what this means is that each Pokemon in Legends Arceus is going to be unique in the sense that it's not going to be as simple as just kind of walking up to them, chucking a Pokeball, and you're done. Pokemon may have different habits and kind of different features of how you can kind of learn the behavior and ultimately be able to capture them. Maybe like Pokemon Snap, where sometimes you have to use the whistle, or sometimes you have to kind of interact with certain Pokemon to get other Pokemon to interact. It'll be really interesting to see if we get any sort of insight into that for Legends Arceus going into tomorrow. I think there's a lot of questions about this game, so it'll be really cool to see what they're gonna reveal and how much information we're gonna get, because when we do have that original Legends Arceus trailer, I'll be real, the graphics weren't all that great, and I'm not even just talking about the overworld, I'm talking about the Pokemon. They were just like 3D sprites kind of plopped in there, so I'm hopeful that we see a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more kind of animation there, a little bit more integration there into the overworld and kind of the environment. Because again, it did seem like they kind of were rushing and just kind of plopped them in there. We'll have to see what happens, but I'm very excited to see what's going on with Legends Arceus as well. Now this is pretty crazy, and whether this is anything significant or not, time will tell, but the domain name az.pokemon.com was registered as of yesterday, and that's really interesting. Time-wise, lines up right with the presentation. For those who don't know, AZ is the character from Pokemon X and Y. He was like a 3,000-year-old dude who had his eternal Floette that tried to blow up the region because he got angry that the thing died and whatever else happened with his story. So whether this is about AZ, that character, or something else, again, to be determined, but I did think it was kind of worth mentioning he was the former king of the Kalos region, and we'll have to see what's going on with AZ. Does he have any point in Legends Arceus? Is he going to be relevant at all? Does he make an appearance at all? What is going on with him? Is he even relevant here? I have no idea, but nonetheless, the domain name az.pokemon.com was registered, so take that for what you will. I will say this, Kelios, again, that insider had mentioned earlier on Twitter that there are leaks for Pokemon Legends Arceus, but they're not gonna share them. I don't really know what that means. Apparently, there's a group of insiders who have access to some leaked information, but they're not putting it out there. Again, I'm not really too convinced. Unless you give me something, then I'm not gonna really believe it. But definitely stay tuned, because we could get some leaks before this announcement happens. If you guys remember, before the big Legends Arceus reveal happened, we actually had a leak right before it where we saw a ton of stuff that actually still hasn't even been revealed by Pokemon. It's still only leaked, and that's those images you guys can see here of like the character on this silhouette deer character, the climbing of the mountain, some of these different animations that they didn't show us at all, we only have from leaks. So keep an eye on the channel, because you just don't know. We may actually get a huge leak before the official announcement happens. And speaking of leaks, but rumors as well, this is a really interesting one from a few months back that we never really talked about, but I felt like it was relevant coming into this presentation, and we should get some answers here. I kind of like this one. I think that there's some really interesting stuff here. So they go on to talk a little bit about Legends Arceus, and this is a rumor. We'll call it a rumor, obviously, because until it's confirmed, we don't know. But they say that the game follows two distinct routes. There's collection and research. You're tasked by the professor to collect information on the native Pokemon of Sinnoh. They give you research quests to do rare Pokemon in certain areas. Your Pokedex is the sketchbook that you see in the trailers where your character writes a log after a catch. So you're kind of creating the first Pokedex, which we know is to be true. One of the research tasks leads you to stumble on the Arceus plates with your starter's typing. So depending on your starter, you'll get the different Arceus plate. And I think that this is where I think this rumor is very interesting, because we know the game is Legends Arceus, right? So Arceus's plates could tie a huge part of the story, right? The ability for it to change its typing. A large section of the plot is then collecting the 18 plates, which the professor becomes interested in. 10 of these are found through quests and defeating Terrain Kings, Pokemon who have been altered to exposure by an Arceus plate, which is very, very interesting. This says this is not the same as King Battles as seen in the Stakeholder Slideshow. They're random occurrences, encounters for rewards. So the King Battles is that battle of that Pokemon that we don't understand with kind of the yellow and all that other stuff. People don't really know what that image is. But this is stating that you can face these Terrain Kings, which hold these plates essentially. And I think that sounds really cool. Instead of badges, right? Because we're presumably not getting badges. We're presumably not doing a gym challenge, but rather maybe we're facing off against these Terrain Kings or these boss battles. The other 8 plates are going to be located in settlements around the region full of indigenous people. So we know there's going to be little towns of people, maybe Floraroma Town, but it's not fully built out. Maybe, you know, Eterna City, but it's not fully built out. Gonna be very interesting to see this. I'm so excited for this game, guys. I feel like there's so much potential here. Spiritomb side quest related to the Ghost Plate. And this is a very long story-based game. I just scratched the surface. Post-game is gonna be love-hate for Pokemon fans. Plans for more Legends games, not replacing standard games, just trying something different here. And the blacked out silhouettes are new Pokemon, or more specifically, relic forms of current Pokemon. So, very interesting. The blacked out Pokemon that we've seen in the kind of screenshots I alluded to earlier that were leaked, those are called relic Pokemon, or relic forms according to this rumor. We'll have to see how this all plays out, but there's so many questions to be answered tomorrow. and I could not be more excited. So clearly there's a ton of stuff to break down for Pokemon Presents tomorrow. We're definitely gonna get information for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Legends Arceus, and maybe some of the other main series games or spin-off games. And don't be surprised if we get something for Sword and Shield. Keep your hopes and expectations low, but you never know. Something could happen. They could fill out the rest of that dex in Sword and Shield, which would be a nice kind of lift. It is the 25th year anniversary after all, so if they're gonna go big, they might as well really go big, because you only get a 25th year anniversary one time. I'm so excited for a lot of these questions to be answered tomorrow. We really don't have a ton of information about Legends Arceus yet. I think tomorrow they're gonna crack that nut open, and they're gonna open the floodgates, and it officially begins, guys. About 96 days until BDSP drops, 100 and something until Legends Arceus. We're gonna have a great time here on youtube.com/AgeRabbit. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you guys, not only to the games, but the road leading to the games. It's gonna be a blast, guys. I'm super hyped about it. I hope you guys are as well. Tune into my live stream tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time for the reveal. I'll be doing it live at twitch.tv with the AgeRab Army. It's gonna be great. Feel free to pick up our #1 selling Umbreon Team Shiny shirt at teamshiny.com. Like the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and let me know what you guys are most looking forward to tomorrow. BDSP, Legends Arceus, or something else. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys for the presentation. It's gonna be awesome. I'll see you guys then. Peace.